Good afternoon. This is Mike from SADT. Long time no see. It's not because I didn't want to post the other part of the video. I actually made it that day. I just couldn't post it because I had to immediately leave town and take care of some business in another state, way south. Um, it's going to be in the news, something about that state. In fact, I think it's already a little rumblings in the news about that state relative to some work that's being conducted down there. But I wanted to get back in touch with you to let you know that I didn't forget about you. The video is at the end of this video, this little intro video, you will see the remaining portion of that video describing the outfit I had on, where you can get that type of outfit from, why it's important to have that type of video, why it's important to understand about freezing conditions, not only on the outside, but also inside your home. In an SHTF situation, you're not going to have utilities. You're not going to have necessarily enough wood or enough oil or enough coal or whatever to heat your home. You might have to only heat a room. So unless you're going to have maybe 300 or 400 gallons of water sitting in your same space that you are, how are you going to drink that water? How are you going to keep that water from freezing solid if it's 32 degrees or lower? That's what the video is about. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. You have to be thinking outside the box. Now, you can't wait until the situation presents itself and then start trying to plan around it. You will fail that way. You won't ever have time to plant that garden or to go fishing or any of that stuff if you don't make it through the winter. That's what the pioneers had to do. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you get to that video so you can learn a little bit of something about cold weather survival, developing your instincts for it, having the right equipment to last through the winter, knowing how to keep your water and stuff in a condition where you can actually utilize it. And then I'm going to give you a little pointer about history and how the simplest of things can bring everything to catastrophe if you don't understand health. Health is different from medicine. Most doctors are not really involved in health with respect to how a person actually stay healthy. Did you know that the average doctor dies in their 60s? If you didn't know that, you might want to look into Dr. Wallach. You might want to look into some of his stuff, explaining the difference between medicine, which by the name itself describes something to you, and health. Health is how you stay away from the doctor, not how you go to it and get a drug, which is going to weaken your body, weaken your immune system, weaken your ability to do without that medicine. You're going to become dependent on it. So it's other ways, natural ways, more dealing with minerals and vitamins and supplements that can get you over the hump when you are on limited resources. Food supplies are limited, and you might not be getting all the nutritional needs from the meals you eat. Have you thought about that? Probably not. Well, stay tuned. I'm going to show you what you need to know, what the colonists, the first pilgrims, learned the hard way. I want you to learn today. So stay tuned and be looking out. Talk to you later. Hi, this is Mike from SADT, and as you saw in the video, it's very cold outside, so cold that water outside for a couple of hours freezes solid to the point where you have to chisel it out of the bottle if you wanted to get a drink or if you wanted to cook with it or whatever. But before we get into that, I want to get into that term, cyclone bomb, and what it means. Not what it means when they say it, but what it means to you as a prepper, as a person that's interested in survival and interested in defense of their family and their community. Well, it's one thing about the New World Order and the deep state that you need to understand. And that is, they always give you what's called impresario, like in chess. They always tell you what they're going to do before they start doing it. Now, if you look up the definition of bomb, there's no other definition except for a man-made device that is used to inflict casualties on an opposing force. It's something that causes an explosion. It's a weapon. In the definition, it will say it's a weapon used to inflict mass casualties or demoralization on an opposing force. That's what it's for. So why did they pick the term bomb to put in the name of a weather event? Nature, God doesn't put bombs to attack its animals and its people. So they're telling you, just like when they told you man-made global warming, everybody thought that meant, well, you're emitting smoke and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. No, that means man is creating global warming through technology or the effects of global warming, which could be weather either being too warm, and that can easily be done by raising the ceiling and decreasing the pressure, the atmospheric pressure, making a bubble, so to speak. And then when you release that bubble and the air rushes back in from other areas, it gets very cold in that same area. So that's man-made change, climate change, man-made climate change. So they told you it was coming, and then they carried it out. So when they tell you cyclone bomb in advance, what are they telling you? So that's why I'm telling you about getting gear like this. Because they are using weather and the mind and technology as weapons against the people. Not just the people of the United States either, but the people of the world. Now, this outfit is very warm, as I said before. So warm that I was warm outside. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. Now, don't worry. I have clothes on under it, so I'm not going to make an X-rated video here. And I know I'll get banned from YouTube then. So I'm going to shed this at least down to the waist, if not totally take it off. Excuse me for doing this on camera. And this is a cowl mask. There's another name of it, Cavalavas or something like that. But this is a very good garment. It goes over the head. It has these drawstrings on the side. Pulls tight around the neck. It also has a under the neck thing that fits into your garment and keeps your neck warm. So this is very good, but I wouldn't not have a hat as well in there. You can never have too much. Before I even get into that, let me tell you about something else. There was a guy who, for some reason, he thought I didn't know about layering. But in one of my previous videos, I talked very much about layering. But let me touch on that again. You can always take something off. But if you don't have it, you can't put something on. That's why I tell you to get it now. So when the event happens, you won't be trying to run out to Walmart or Sam's Club or to some Army Navy surplus to try to get you some gear. Get your gear now. Make sure you have the stuff you need for the events that's taking place. This garment has zippers everywhere, and that's the kind of garment you want. Because as I said in a previous video, you need to be able to get in and out of it. If you have clothes under it, you need to get into those. This is an outer garment. You have inner layers as well. You might have a pair of trousers on under it. Maybe some insulated trousers. Maybe a pair of sweats. Whatever it is, you want to be able to get inside the pockets without disrobing to do so. Because it's a full body garment. There is no opening at the waist where air can seep in and your temperature, your heat can seep out. That's what makes these kind of garments so good. In fact, let me tell you something. A lot of city workers and airport workers, people who work on the ramp at the airport, if you ever watch when they're unloading your bags, they actually wear stuff like this. Some mail carriers have them. It's something that you can get. They're moderately priced, at least for me. And people might say that I watch your videos and I see a lot of expensive items that you pull out. I don't have that kind of money. Well, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much money you save. If you really want something, it's best for you to save for it. Start now. Put away a little bit at a time. Look for bargains. Thrift stores, all kinds of places you can get good gear, and pawn shops. You just have to look for it. You can also look on eBay and Amazon and other ways online that you can get gear just like what you see me with for a very inexpensive price. So with that said, let me go ahead and get this thing off. Sorry about this, people, but I don't want to waste the time. I want to get it off as soon as possible. It also zips open at the feet, so you don't have to take your boots on and off to put it on or off, which is another very good customization that you will find in this garment and probably in most others as well. As I said, it's blue, dark blue. But it has these red, white, and blue stripes down the arms, which are retroreflective. And then it also has one on the pocket here that zips closed right here on the top that you can put stuff in. But like credentials or whatnot that you might need to get a hold of very quickly. Now, these are very important because if we're in a patriot type situation, red, white, and blue could be an identifier to let others know what side you're on, just like they did back in the Revolutionary War, red coats versus blue coats or whatever. Also, for your own group, your own MAD group, this could be, if everyone has this outfit, when you see this outfit from a distance, you can determine quickly whether that's at least someone wearing the garment of your group. And so you might be able to give them a little more leeway in approaching before you take some kind of action if you have to, if it's at that stage. Hopefully we won't get to that stage, but if it does, this is a good safeguard for you to have. So I say a garment like this will cost you probably, it's waterproof as well. And trust me, it takes care of the business. I'm not going to tell you the provider of that. You can easily find garments like that yourself. I'm not going to put a sponsor's information on a seller on this thing because it affects a whole lot of things that I don't want to get into right now. But it's a good item. I have, everybody in my group has one of those. So it's easier for us to identify each other, and it does a good job. You can probably get something like that under $120, maybe $130 per garment. But you don't have to go that high. They have some that are made out of corduroy material, some that are made of like a canvas-like outer, and then it's got like fleece lining inside of it. You can get one of those as well. They all work better than nothing. That's the key point, is that you want something that's going to do the job, that's going to work for you when you need it. Okay, we're going to show you this. This is a hat. I'm going to raffle some of these off. The hat and the gloves comes from Cabela's. A lot of people may have seen them. They frequently have these on sale in the winter. You might want to get down there and get you some of them. But they're only part of a puzzle that you're putting together for you and your family's safety. Same thing for these. You can get these online, or you can go to places like Cabela's and get these. A lot of guys have them. If you were in the military or law enforcement or something, you might already have some, or an investigator, you might have these. Now we're going to go down the line and show you some other equipment that you might want to get. For ladies, I have something I want to show you. This right here is an intermediate boot. And what I mean by intermediate, it's not for super cold weather, but it is for cold weather. Has excellent tread on it. It has a zipper on the side, so you don't have to worry about all these laces. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, you don't have time. It has Velcro at the top, has a zipper on the side, so you can zip in and out of it very quickly. This is also important if you get an injury. Sometimes you have to get in and out of your outfit so a wound can be treated or something. And this is just like the military. I mean, something like this comes in handy. Very lightweight. It has a gosseted tongue, and that's what they mean by waterproof. It's treated on the outside with materials that are impervious to water, and then the tongue is gosseted, which means it's attached to the inside of the boot, up to the top of the boot, sealing it from water or moisture that would get into your foot. Now, this is not for super cold weather, but it is a lot better than a pair of tennis shoes or a pair of regular boots. And that's what's important, is making sure you have the intermediate steps that you need if you have to go outside in the cold weather, or if you are in a house that's below 32 degrees Fahrenheit and you have to live in there 24/7, 365 days a year. Some part of that 365 days a year, you have to be inside that ice cold condition. Like you see this tank back here, all those fish would be saying bye-bye, because there would be no way for me to keep all those fish alive if we didn't have heating gas and electricity to spark off a fire in the furnaces and stuff that's in here. So all that you have to keep in mind. You have to be thinking about that as a survival person. Everybody is not at the same level. No one expects you to go out and spend thousands of dollars buying this gear that I'm going to be showing you in this video. But it's a wise person who plans for the future. And if you are planning for the future, then you're getting some of this gear. You're going to have some of it. You might not have all of it, but you're going to have some, so that you can take care of you and your family. And you can't just get it for you. Well, you might be thinking, well, I'm going to be the one going out to hunt, fish, gather food, do recon, whatever it is you might think you are going to do. But in the event that someone overruns your home or whatever, you have to move, or it gets so cold inside, even your baby that's in swaddling, that's wrapped up in blankets, might need the same kind of cold weather gear. And it's your responsibility as the man or the provider of the home to make sure that every person in your household, grandpa, grandma, cousin, niece, nephew, daughter, son, and baby, has the gear they need to survive. And blankets don't cut it. Trust me. Now we're going to show some other things that I had. These are the gloves I had on at that time. These are triple insulated gloves, lined inside, very tight fitting, but the fingers are very large. And that's what I mentioned in the video. They're very rugged, very thick gloves. They keep your hands very warm and up to 0 degrees. That's what they're made for. But they're also tactical. However, tactical is only as good as the gear you have to go with it. Layering with gloves, you can use all types of layers to layer gloves. These are mechanics. These are the normal gloves that you see a lot of operators, law enforcement, and other people having on. Well, in some cases, you can put these on and still be able to get your hand inside your other gloves. Now these, I can't do that. But there's another solution. If you don't have these and you have these, well, there's another option. You see this? This glove comes from Cabela's. Now with this glove, you can put this glove on top because it has the ability to stretch of this mechanic's glove. And now you have that layered effect. The same thing that I had in the other glove, you have it with these. A little bit different. They're not waterproof or anything. They're not as tactical, but they do have a lining in it to give you some grip. And they have things so that you can actually dial a phone on the outside. These come from Cabela's as well. So it's a good glove to have. You need to stay warm. You need to layer. You might need to take these off to do something else. And I'll tell you why. I'll show you something real quick. This right here, I'm not going to show that it's unloaded or anything because I'm not going to do anything aggressive. But if you were to put your finger, try to put your finger in that trigger hole, this finger is not going to fit easily in that trigger hole. So you have to be thinking about that before you buy your weapon and your cold weather gear. If they don't work together, don't think you're going to be able to work your way through it in a moment's notice when there's an emergency situation taking place. Match your equipment with your weaponry. Do that in advance and you'll be better suited. Same thing for a Glock. A little bit bigger, but it still is relatively small compared to the size of this index finger glove opening. And there's a chance that in cold weather, you might, everybody, because they watch movies so much, they always think that it's going to be a warm weather event if SHTF happens. If World Without Rule of Law happens, it's going to be warm weather. But it might not be. It might be freezing cold. It might be a bomb cyclone that day. Then what are you going to do? Do you have the gear you need? That's the kind of hold that you need on a weapon when you are using gloves like this. It's a tactical trigger guard made for stuff like this. So make sure, like I said, you're matching your gear to the weaponry and the equipment you're going to use. Not just weapons, but everything you use. If it has intricate parts and stuff that you have to get in and out of, then you might have to make sure that you have the gear that's going to work with it, that's compatible with the gear you have on both sides. And it's the leader's job to make sure that everyone has the things that they need. That's what a sergeant and a corporal does. They line everybody up in their platoon, they look them over, and they check their gear. They check them. That's where inspections came from. The inspections wasn't at first to check your boots and the starch in your uniform. The inspection was to make sure that your sword, your spear, your everything else, your chainmail, everything was in order for combat. You were protecting your men just like you protect your family, like you protect your children. Because those are your children when you are a squad leader or field commander. It's your job to make sure that other people that's under your charge are safe. And that goes for your family as well. So pay attention and learn. Some other things you might need, and they're not part of necessarily a cold weather gear scenario, but they're also needed in an SHTF or any type of home invasion or World Without Rule of Law situation. Some are more geared toward the World Without Rule of Law situation, and some of them geared toward whatever it is. And I'm going to start by showing you these. No one else is showing you stuff like this. They're telling you all this stuff about Mosin Nagants and AR-15s and AK-47s. But have you ever shot any firearm in a house, in an enclosed room, in an enclosed space? Have your wife ever done it? Well, let me tell you something. You will lose your hearing for a little while, maybe permanently, depending on what kind of vibrations you end up producing. You might lose some of your hearing for good just from one shot. But definitely for a short period of time, you will lose your hearing. These are very necessary. You know, they're sound attenuators, earplugs, whatever you want to call them, earmuffs. This right here is the little small kind you can quickly put on. And then when you're in your bed, you have a home invasion, you can quickly just pull it off your nightstand and throw it on your head, grab your firearm, and you're ready to go. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And that's what this whole thing is about. Have something that's better than nothing. Then you can go to the next level, and that's these. These lightweight, these are made by Honeywell, great company. Seals your ears off, stops a whole lot of stuff. You can quickly put this on in an SHTF situation and save your ears. Because you might need to hear something later on that day or later on in that evening. So something like this, as big and clumsy as it might look, might be something that's very important for you and your family to have. Sound attenuators, earmuffs, whatever you want to call them. Get some for everyone in your family if you're very interested in survival and SHTF preparedness. This is the next level up. This is for, I would say, for your leaders. These right here are the same thing as those other ones. The only difference is these right here actually have microphones implanted in them. You see that? That's a microphone here. And on the other side, you have your volume control. Those devices give you the ability to muffle out loud cracking, high-pitched frequencies that might damage your eardrums, while leaving you able to hear, like if you're a sentry or if you are a leader and you are barking out directions to people who might be holding down sectors of fire or doing maneuver somewhere in the midst of some type of attack. So this is a upgrade from the other ones. Have something like this. Again, I know that everybody can't afford all this equipment. They're not going to spend the money on it. But what I'm doing is I'm giving you an overview of what real preparedness people might have. If you're really involved in this idea and this notion, then start today developing the tools to be good at what you're doing. Don't just say I'm something and just have some seeds and some canning jars and some wax somewhere and some water, because there's more to it than that. The people who are the most prepared are the people who are probably going to be the most able to survive. That doesn't mean go out and spend all your money on this, because you may never need it. It's like an insurance policy, just like having your auto insurance or your insurance on your home. You want to make sure you have that for the event when you need it. It may never come, but you want to make sure you have it anyway, just in case you do need it. And that's what all this is. It's all insurance policies. And there's different levels of it. And I'm showing you a lot of different levels. You go to the next level. You can go down and you can get some of these. Now, a lot of people may not even know what that is. They might be thinking hockey or football, or they might be thinking baseball or roller derby. But this is a tactical knee pad. That's what this is, a tactical knee pad. Velcroed in the back. Then you put it on, tighten the Velcro on it, holds it onto your knee. And why it's so important, have you ever hit the deck on concrete, on hard dirt, or ice, or a hardwood floor, or a tiled floor? Have you ever hit the dirt, period? Have you? Have you ever took your rifle and then jumped down into a prone position? Do you even know what a prone position is? Do you know how to get into a prone position? Have anybody ever showed you that? Has anybody ever told you about having something like that? This is a hard one. And they're not cheap. I'm not going to even lie. I'm not going to tell you it's cheap. But they have these also for rollerblading. And they probably are a little bit cheaper. You need the same kind of device for your elbows. Because when you jump down, you can't be putting your hand down because you're holding your weapon and whatever other gear you have. So you fall down, you use your elbows or your rifle butt, your stock, to catch your fall as you go down into a prone position, which you might have to do in a split second because of an explosion or fire above your head. Have anybody ever told you that? Do you know anything about this stuff? If you can't afford those, though, for less than $15, you can go down to your Home Depot or your Menards and get some like this. They're soft, and they might even be better in some circumstances because in some environments, those hard ones will make noise when you hit the deck. They will clack off the hard surface. These are soft rubber. But they're hard enough so that you don't end up hurting your knees. They just won't last as long. But they will do the job because you're not going out doing tactical drills like I might do every day or a lot. So having these around can be a knee saver or elbow saver if you ever have to hit the deck in an SHTF situation. Okay, I think I covered some things that probably a lot of people never even thought about. They never probably even contemplated it. But I wanted to make sure that you heard it here on this channel because we give you the straight scoop. As I said before, I'm not going to tell you you're ready because you got some food in the pantry. I'm not going to tell you you're ready because you got some guns and some bullets. No, it takes training. You need a good instructor to teach you, to show you what to do with this equipment that I just showed you. Show you how to regulate temperature, how to layer your clothing, why you layer your clothing, what an air barrier is, how to warm water 24/7 so that you have melted water when you only have a small place that heat is provided for a whole family. What methods do you have to heat your home if all the power is out? Do you have any methods? Do you have any propane, butane, kerosene, coal oil, wood? Oh, you thinking of your chairs and stuff? Do you have a wood burning stove? Do you have a charcoal grill? Do you have any charcoal? Do you have a propane grill? How many canisters of propane do you have? I showed you guys a butane stove, which I'm going to be giving away soon. Really soon, there's going to be a giveaway. And somebody's going to get a pretty good gift. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do it, whether it's going to be a raffle or whether I'm just going to give it to the best commenter, the person who comments the best, who gets the best message across to the other viewers of the video, the most favorite it, the most liked comment. We'll say it like that. That might be how I do it. I'm going to give away probably a gift that's going to range anywhere from $100 in value all the way up to maybe $300 or $400 in value, free, just because you tuned in and you got the best comment. I'll do it for that. The best comment. I'm not going to say what video. I'm going to choose the person, but the real choosers are going to be the people who are thumbs upping your comment. That's who's going to be providing you the gift. Then all you need to do after I tell you one is go to my website by clicking on the channel icon for Urban Defensive Tactics, and it'll take you to the website, and then you register with the website, put your contact information in there, and then I will definitely send you that package post haste. That's how I do things. I don't play around. My word is my bond. I live by a code of honor. If I tell you something, it's going to happen. So I've told you this is going to happen. It's going to be probably before the end of January. I'm going to be looking at all my comments, and the person with the most prolific comment is going to be the person who wins the prize. That'll be the first giveaway. Then there'll be other giveaways once the website is launched and we have a big grand opening, which is coming very soon as well. Right now I'm getting together the sponsors and all the things that's going to be necessary to launch this website really big. Now we're going to talk about something else. I want to touch back on this cyclone bomb cyclone thing. Don't take this stuff lightly, people. Who do you think named that? And why did they name it that? If you go into an airport and you holler, bomb cyclone, what do you think is going to happen to you? So why did they pick a name for an aggressive weapon and name a weather event after it? Why didn't they just say winter hurricane? Or why didn't they just say snowstorm or blizzard? No, they had to name it something else because it's weaponized weather. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I can't prove it. And that's the bad thing about it. They know that. They know it's almost impossible for regular people to be able to prove it. But trust me, some people know when weather events like this happens, they know whether there's somebody up there slicing and dicing the atmospheric conditions so that they can cause a semi-tailored weather event. You don't believe it? Stay tuned to this channel. You'll learn a lot about how they do things in the government and other governments, in the deep state, and what they're planning for you in the New World Order and days to come. I think I showed you a lot of stuff, and like I said, there's some people who know about everything I showed them, and maybe they already should be making videos of their own. But there's a lot of new people, and for the new people and people who might know a little bit but not know a whole lot, but they have family members who they're trying to get on board, bring them to the channel. Show them these videos. Show them someone who, what I do is instruct people. I train people. So let me help you train the people who are hesitant or reluctant or just will not bend to helping you provide security, safety, preparation, provision for any future catastrophes that might your family find themselves in. And that doesn't mean that the New World Order is going to send a UN army down to attack, or it doesn't mean that Black Lives Matter or Antifa is going to raid the neighborhood. What it means is some type of either natural or unnatural event has thrown all the natural uh, civil ways of doing things out of whack for a time. That time could be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years. Which one of those scenarios are you prepared for? I believe that there's a lot of people looking right in my face and not prepared for even a 3-day event. I bet it's many of you that don't have 3 days of food in your refrigerator and cabinets in your home. You have no bottled water. You probably have tennis shoes, and you live in a cold weather environment or a very wet environment. Your family members, your children, they may not even have a pair of boots at all, or a real cold weather gear, gloves, scarves, nothing insulated. But you call yourself a prepper. You think you're going to survive. But if a man or woman is in charge of their family, if their whole family don't survive, they're probably not going to survive long either. You're a team. You'll have to all be prepared, all of the same accord, all working together, all knowing the code, all being prepared. Are you prepared? Do you have any of these things that I've showed you? There's a whole lot of winter left out there. And then there's next year and the year after next. Start preparing now. Start getting your family ready. And then start getting their minds prepared. Because that's the bigger part of preparation. Is knowing when to move, when to act, what to act with, who to trust, who not to trust. Having your instincts, your natural, animalistic instincts ready to give you the signals on what to do next. Those are the people who are going to survive. The people who don't have that instinct, they're not going to make it. They're going to be doing the wrong thing at the wrong time with the wrong people. And they're going to get the wrong outcome. I'm trying to make sure you don't do that. I'm trying to make sure you don't make that mistake. And the way you're not going to make that mistake is to listen to me now and get the information you need up front so that you and your family is going to be safe. And I can give you that information if you listen to me. Okay, that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I think I fill you in on a whole bunch of information. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you something about the type of boots I had on. They're called U.S. military surplus Mickey boots. They're they're considered cold weather gear. They're waterproof, insulated, have the gosseted tongue all the way up to the top. They're tactical boots for the military, designed for the military. And you can probably get them for $80, $90. And that's shipped to your home. Start getting this gear, man. Start getting this gear for your family. Don't be one of those people you see on the news being picked up by a boat or a helicopter from off the top of the roof or something, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad you people came and got me." Whose responsibility is it to take care of your family? Is it someone else's responsibility or is it yours? What are you going to do? Crawl under the table and hide until somebody gets there to help you? A first responder like me? Take care of your family, man. You know what to do. Get the training. Get the gear. Train your family up. And be prepared. This is Mike from SADT. Thanks for coming and watching the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Always subscribe if you want to. Bring your family and friends and have them subscribe as well. Visit the website and be looking out for that top commenter, top thumbs up getter prize that we're going to be giving away on these videos. Is coming up. This video and the videos coming by the end of January. I'll say January 31st. I'm going to give this prize away to the person who has the best thumbs up rating on their comment, and the person who actually goes to the website, signs up by putting their information in so that I can send them the gift. I'm not going to chase after anybody. I'm going to tell them they won. I'm going to tell everybody they won. And then it's going to be on them to go and do their due diligence to get the gear that I'm going to send. And that gear will be sent out the following day to that person at the address that they provided. What they do with the gear is on them. They can sell it. They can put it in a closet. They can utilize it. They can train their family. They can do whatever they want with it. But I will send it to them, and it'll be on them to do what's right for them. So again, thanks for coming, and this is Mike with SADT signing off. Be strong and stay safe. Something else that I wanted to touch on before I left this video is very important. It's related to health. It's not related to medicine necessarily. It's not related to having prescription drugs and all that stored up and the shelf life of things like that. It's something much more rudimentary and simple than that. However, it's very important. And don't think that you can get along without these things that I'm going to tell you. They're going to have to be done if in case of massive upheaval in society where you have to depend on stored foods and whatever you can find. Just as the people that I'm going to tell you about briefly had to worry about them as well. I'm going to tell you about the Pilgrims. Back in the 1600s, a small group left England, bound for the New World. They thought they had everything figured out. They canned food the same way a lot of homesteaders and preppers do right now, with wax and paraffin mason jars and different types of containers that they had pulled together and heated the food and stuff. But what they didn't realize back then when they first started, what they weren't thinking about is when you process food with heat and other things, a lot of times you lose some of the nutrient value in those foods. And so did they at that time. Things like potassium. But more importantly in this case that I want to bring up today, something that a lot of people haven't thought about, is this right here. But I think everyone knows that that says vitamin C. Vitamin C is a very important nutrient. And processing a lot of times removes it from even fruit. Without vitamin C, just as the Pilgrims, you will definitely end up with scurvy, and so will your children. If you end up with scurvy, you will not make it, just like a lot of the Pilgrims didn't make it. So I just wanted to touch on that, and I wanted you to think about when you're preparing, and you're preparing food, and you're preparing all the provisions, the medicines, and all of the things that you might need. Think about nutrition. Think about supplements. Think about vitamins. Think about vitamin C. Something that I know you probably hadn't thought about before. Without vitamin C, you get scurvy. Without potassium, your blood pressure goes up. Your heart rate can get distorted and you can have a heart attack. Without calcium, your bones weaken and it can also affect your heart. So knowing these things about nutrition, but especially I want to make you focus on vitamin C, because that's what you will probably end up having the most difficulty with. A lot of people think about, sewage and all that, but long term, think about vitamin C and how you're going to reintroduce that into your diet in extreme situations. So I just wanted to touch on that really quickly. And I hope you learned something from that. I hope you incorporate that into your prepping decisions.